Hello, my friend. I hope you are having a great day. Here, it's a sunny day. It's a very nice day. Probably I will go to the lake and have some swimming. I'm still in Ege'dir in Turkey, and the government says that they are about to open the border, so probably I will continue my travelings very, very soon. I was not able to publish content in the past weeks because I was taking some courses about marketing and content production and different ways to try to create better content for you. But still, I still have a lot to learn, so yeah, as a friend might say, one day at a time. Anyway, today we go around, why not, the George Floyd protest in the United States in 3, 2, 1. I know it is a controversial topic, and I was not going to talk about this. I had something completely different plan for my kind of return on this kind of podcast platform. It is controversial, at least if you want or try to look to both sides of the discussion. Echo chambers can be very deceiving, and if you stay in one side, let's say the left or let's say the right, you will be misinformed most of the times, and it is not helpful for society, in my own opinion. So we're going to go to both sides of the spectrum. So be prepared to be challenged. But I want you to put your rational hat on. Because we are going around George Floyd, but also around Candace Owens' arguments, for example. We're going to go around the problems of looting, but also the problems of systemic racism, or what I do believe is the actual core of systemic racism. But most of all, we need to think about possible, real, sustainable, long-term solutions. So this is the agenda for today. So first we need to start by remembering the facts. As many of you know, as you know possible, Officer Derek Chauvin basically killed George Floyd, a black man in the United States, by putting his knee on his neck for, I believe it's more than 8 minutes. Of course, this is something that I haven't talked with anybody that says that this is right. Of course, you cannot defend this. This is just something that is wrong. As I sometimes believe that we should actually check if this is a racist topic, and hear me out on this. I really would like to know, because recent news explained that Derek had different encounters and he should have been fired a long time ago. So I really would like to know what are the other encounters? All of them were black? Were there minorities, or he's just a psychopath? I really have no idea, and I haven't went into that, but definitely we need to understand what is going on. Despite the cause, you cannot kill anybody in that fashion. So let's just put that very clear. I do not agree with that, and of course I condemned the actions of the officer. Having said that, we all agree with that, but then the looting started, and I think, in my opinion, this tainted the legitimacy of the movement. Let me just put some parentheses and tell you about the story when I was working as a journalist. As a journalist, I think we have to give voice to those that don't have voice. So anyway, I was covering a protest because some farmers were complaining. I actually, right now on the top of my head, I don't remember exactly why, but it was a money situation. And I was with them. They came from very, very low income places. And of course they were upset, and they were in front of the municipality trying to claim this argument. But then something happened. In the middle of the protest, they start to ask the government, hey, you should give us food right now because we're protesting, and bring some food and stuff like that. And maybe I'm very like black and white, but that I didn't like that at all. I didn't like the fact that they were, it's just, for me it was just not, I don't know, like you need to take the higher ground. Like for me, just imagine if you don't ask for that, and you said, and the government offered you, I don't know, food or little money or whatever, and you said, no, we came for this and this is what we want. We don't want stuff. We want things to be right. Anyway, it was a long time ago. I did many research and I found out, as always, as a journalist, and that's why I don't affiliate with left or right, that the truth always lies kind of in the middle, and there is nobody that is a saint. Nobody, even the victims. It's very hard for me to say it, and not many people could understand it. That's what I saw, and believe me, I saw a lot of shit working as a journalist, like a lot. I saw bad people being good. I saw good people being bad. So, going back to the protest, just imagine what could have been if thousands of people could have protested silently, a silent protest without any casualty. I think that speaks volumes. Gandhi got it right. Martin Luther King Jr. got it right. Looting is just counterproductive, and in my view, it just reinforces stereotype. And let's just not forget, like, I don't have statistics, but what I saw in most of the clips is that these lootings, they start to become very white, very fast. I hate to talk about black people, white people, black people, white people. Like, it's just not the way I talk. But I guess this is the topic, so whatever. Anyhow, so we have a lot of people looting, you know, like stealing computers, stealing stuff. People that support this, I definitely do not agree. And again, it's not because of any kind of support to the system, but it's just take the higher ground, man, the moral higher ground, and, you know, show them that you are better, even better than them. So after that, what happened? Of course, police officers start to repress the looters. And, you know, there is also a trend that it sucks for me, because I'm maybe a little bit more to the left, and it kind of sucks see these little behaviors. For example, I saw a lot of videos that when you see the full video, it's just like, dude, like you are just taking stuff to your convenience, and you are just putting on the web the stuff that helps your narrative. And I hate to believe that the conservatives or the right, or whatever you want to call it, they kind of, instead of lying or misleading, they just pick the content that favors them and hide the one that doesn't favors them. But they don't like fabricate. And I see that the left is trying, it kind of fabricates. So it has happened, and it shouldn't happen, not even once, because even with one, then the rest of the people said like, oh, then the rest may be the same. And also, you know, you have all these police officers, and, you know, I've been talking with a lot of police officers in my life in Mexico. Of course, I cannot say that Mexico police officers are the same. Of course not. But we have to agree that it's a fucking dangerous job. It's difficult. Like, it is difficult. Like, your life is in the line all the time. So, and you know that the police officers in every of the protests, like, they are the minority there. Like, there are not more officers than people, than protesters. And it's just difficult. Like, you need to be in a protest where you are the minority, and you can feel like the threat to your life. It's a difficult job. One more time, because everybody, like, it's funny because in comments and everything, everybody, they just take anything from context. So I need to repeat it over and over again. I do not agree with what Officer Chauvin did to George Floyd. Like, that's not what I'm saying. So after that, police officers versus the looters, a lot of problems. And what happened? The Atlanta mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, tells them, just please stop, like this is not helping. By the way, of course, like again, it shouldn't matter, but apparently it matters. She is black, and she's saying like, please stop, like this is not what we are standing for, what we stand for. And you can check the video on my page. I wrote the full article is there with all the proper information and everything. This is just like a conversation about it. You can check it in juanaron.org, that blog. So, going back to the topic, I see like many videos where the protesters, like, what do you consider violent? Because they say like, they are not doing anything. Like, dude, like, do you understand? Like, you shouldn't yell in people's faces, like that's not nice, or flip them, or like calling them names, like that's just not right. Like, of course, like as a police officer you have the training and you need to, but just put yourself in their shoes, and it's difficult. Moreover, I'm sure, like I hope, if you are not completely into an echo chamber, I'm sure that you have seen all the videos of black people complaining about the looting and saying like, like you are ruining our business, our story, our lives. You're going into the places where minorities work and minorities live, and this is not nice. And again, I need to repeat it one more time. All the looters seems to be white young people, or most of them, the majority I would say. And then you have the cases like David Dorn from Missouri, 77-year-old ex-police officer, retired. He was killed trying to protect a store, or I think a pawn shop, and some guys trying to steal a TV, they just killed him. Happened to be black. Doesn't that not reinforce the stereotype that everybody knows the statistics that more than 90% of the killings to black people are committed by other black people? Again, well, we're going to talk about solutions later on, but why do that? It's just like, sometimes it's like, are you stupid? Like, this is not helping you. So now we need to talk, of course, like what Candace Owens said about the past of George Floyd, and it's very disturbing. But again, I'm going to say this, but I'm not quite on the side of Owens. But she was talking about like George Floyd. He was arrested many times. He was in possession of drugs. Apparently, he was high when the event happened with the officer Chauvin. So Candace, like, just check it in my blog, in my page. Candace go way back to the history of George Floyd and explains, she even kind of narrates one case in which Floyd entered into a house of a black pregnant woman and point a gun into her stomach. He was robbing her. So check that in the webpage. I don't want to go into detail of that because that's not the main thing. What I want to talk about again is about real solutions. And the fanatism that you bring with this through emotions. It's just incredible. Like one video of white people washing black people's feet, like this kind of virtual signaling that it just doesn't help in any way. Like it doesn't change anything. Black people will still killing other black people. That is not the solution. This will still face danger. Since they see black people as a threat, they will still be cautious. It's just not. Sometimes I think that we've lived in a fucking comic. It's just incredible. Like, really, dude? Like, you think like you're taking down a statue. And trust me, like, I study sociology and, like, the significance of, like, symbols and stuff. Like, yes, I get it. But still, like, that doesn't fix the problem. I see it not only with black people. Like, when they say, like, yeah, cultural appropriation. And, dude, like, if you want to use a sombrero and a Mexican hat, I do not give a fuck at all, like at all. What I want is my people to be better. If all American people use Mexican hats, and miraculously that put food into the tables of other people, Mexicans, that's what I want. I don't care about that stuff, and trust me, I'm quite positive that the black people that are deep into the problems, most likely they don't care either. I am not black, but living in scarcity, like, it changed you. Like, I've been in the worst neighborhoods in Mexico, and they're bad. They're really bad, and they don't think about this political shit at all. You want to eat, you want to survive, you want to have like better opportunity. And for sure, I'm sorry if you get offended or something, but like giving like free spaces to people, like you have a job because you're a woman, you have a job because you're Hispanic, you have a job because you are black, that is just not the real solution. And sometimes I think that it actually affects those sectors like profoundly. I even used to joke when I was studying in Denmark, I have friends that are black, I have friends that are gay, I have friends that, I was telling them, you want to get the better scholarship, say that you are a black gay in a repressed society. Want to get a scholarship, said that you're a gay Muslim in Iran, for example. A black gay Muslim in Iran, and like this kind of stuff, it's just bullshit. Like that doesn't help the majority. 10 spaces doesn't help thousands. It helps 10. That's it. And trust me, like also during my scholarship, my master degree, I was with a friend. I don't remember. I think he was from Ghana, and we're talking about the wall and Donald Trump. And I was like, dude, like, I think the right solution is that Mexico should provide enough well-paid jobs for their citizens, to the point that, Mexicans just don't want to go to the United States because we have everything. That's what the real solution is, in my point. And he was continued trying to kind of make the argument about, but the borders, to the point that he told me, I think that you don't understand the struggle of a Mexican. Which, I mean, of course, I do not believe that if you are black, you understand black culture. If you are Mexican, you understand Mexicans. Like, I don't believe in that. But, going to that point, it was just funny. So you're telling me that you from Africa know more about my continent and my problems, despite me tackling these problems constantly. Going to... it's just funny. It was just like, okay, bro. And trust me, I travel around, and that's the first time that people said, when it's like, oh, Mexico, El Chapo, or Cartel, or Pablo Escobar, despite not being from Mexico. And to be honest, like, yeah, sometimes it may be annoying, and but I don't take it bad or personally, and I will tell you why. And I will tell you why it has been helpful for me. And I remember one thing that I think it was from Chaplin, I think, said it once, I don't remember. But he said, we want to believe and we want to live, close to each other's happiness, not close to each other's misery. And the only way to do it is through understanding. I'm quoting Morty from Rick and Morty. I would say that I see this world divided between those that want this world divided and those that don't. People that want the world divided are in both sides, in both camps, or in all camps. Conservatives, progressive, left, right, up, down, wherever you want to call it, they are everywhere. But there are also people that want us united. Targeting the police is not the solution. The same way is not the solution targeting black people. Giving preference to a color is not the same, is not the solution. Either white, black, purple, whatever. It's just not the solution. and denying the problems, such as the statistic that goes around with conservatives that says, black kill black. Denying that, if you are from the left, is the worst thing that you can do to help minorities. We need to accept realities in order to change them. We cannot deny them. We can have small little fixes, and instead of changing the system, we just help it to improve it in a way that undercovers or just put some shade into the problems, the real ones. I have friends from all colors. I've been dating girls from basically almost all continents. And you know what I see? I see more things in common. We want, most of us, either to be happy or to leave a mark in the world, to be part of something. And those are valuable things, but sometimes they are used by others. I know that the people that were looting, there are many that they just want to have a new cell phone or sneakers or wherever, but there were also people that they are young and they don't know how to canalize their need to be important. They need to be part of a group. They need to be relevant. Also people that are angry. Being angry doesn't justify the destruction of a society. I had a friend that says black had the right to destroy the society that they create with for free. Dude, you're not seeing the black people that are complaining about the lootings. What do you not understand? And for me, I was almost not about not to do this, because it's sometimes difficult to be in the middle, to be honest. People want you to be either on their side or you are the enemy, and that sucks for society. That is not going to bring anything good. And if you think that we don't need police, you haven't been in danger in your life. And for those that are from the right, that said and they shield themselves into the statistics, I want to go back into something. Maybe in the statistics, black male people are the most dangerous threat for police. Okay, I buy this. And black people killing other black people is the majority. Okay, I buy this. But why? Why is this happening? Again, black people said because the father absence, and that's the kids just go wild and stuff. But I don't think it's enough. I think it's a very easy solution. It's a very easy answer. And I don't think it's as easy as that. I think the best solution is in the laws. Not kneeling down, not destroying monuments of black oppressors, but fixing the laws. Fixing their culture and our culture as minorities. If they target us and think you are a thief, or let's just put it into Mexican terms, you are MS-13 and you're a problem. Show them better. Work harder. Show them that you're not a threat nor a victim. Be the first to be in the morning in school and the last to leave. And it sucks. We don't have a level field. Trust me. I know. When I was going to the university, my mom just said dude, you're on your own in a different city. We do not have money to give to you. I had to eat for weeks tortillas with aguacate. Only that. Half a kilo of tortillas with aguacate was my food for the day. And the easy solutions were there because I was in the worst neighborhood in Mexico. One of the worst. But I wake up in the morning, I went to school, then I went to my job, and then I was eating my tortillas with avocado. We need to show them better. And if they don't want to hire you, create your own job. This minority is not such a minor group. We have the ideas more now than ever. You can do something. And if you don't have access to the university, more now than ever, you have access to knowledge in a computer. Let's just show them who we are, because we are not the guys that steal some sneakers. Let's just change the stereotype. Instead of saying the Mexican is lazy, let's just say, wow, then we need to hire this guy. Like, we really want him, but he doesn't want to come. Or we want to hire this black man, but he wants to build his own company. And he wants to have his people with him. And maybe tomorrow he will be a threat to us because they are good, because they study hard. And if we don't have it in our genes, we need to find why and fix it, and claim for structural solutions to fix this. Then a monetary restitution will not work. How many people win the lottery and then they don't have anything? We need to go to the core of the problem, and for that we need real science, and for that we need to step aside with our emotions and really try to be rational about this and understand. Let me put you an example that it sucks, but let's just use it. And there are many cons to this, but let's just use it just for the sake of it. According to the IQ test, the Hispanics are not very brilliant, not the most brilliant. We can argue about the validity of the IQ test, but I want to go to something different. I can, as a Mexican, deny that, or we can check, okay, why is this happening? Is it cultural? Is it the environment? Is it our genes? Despite the answer, then we said, okay, I accept this, I study this, and now this is the possible solutions that we have, and we fight for those solutions. Based on, I don't know, Mexicans doesn't have or Hispanics doesn't have the higher IQ, this is the solution for them to have a better chance, instead of just giving them positions, for example. I think that's the real solution. I think that's the long-term solution. It can apply for everything. Men are more violent, for example. Or if black people kill more black people. Whatever. We need to really put our emotions aside in order to fulfill what our emotions are claiming for us. So those are my thoughts. There are a lot more information. Please check the website, juanaron.art.blog. Maybe I will do it in .com, I don't know yet. But I really believe that an open dialogue, it's vital. Despite all the Twitter and shit, like all these irrational people fighting and telling themselves, like using bad language and stuff, I think they are not the majority, they are just the loudest. The same with the looting. They are not the minority. They are not the majority. Not even among the people that were protesting, I don't think they are the minority. The majority. But, getting into digital wars, like, it doesn't matter. Let's just show them with facts what minorities are capable to do for the good of the world. Okay, so it's time to say goodbye. I'm trying to keep this short. I hope you liked today's episode. One more time, just go to the page, juanaron.art.blog. There are a lot of information, and for this particular case, I try to look for more information. Maybe you will not like it what you see, but maybe you need to see it. If you are listening to this, remember that you can watch this on YouTube in Juan Around the World. And if you're watching on YouTube, remember that you can listen it on Spotify, Google Podcast, Anchor, and other platforms, but those are like the main. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, in all of them like Juan Around. And if you love my content, you can support me in my Patreon account on www.patreon.com/support1, or you can buy me a coffee on www.buymeacoffee.org. That last one I would really appreciate because I love coffee. So after studying for all these past days and everything, I will be more constant. In the page you can check the disruptive journalism that has to do with like global problems like global warming and AI, stuff like that. In case you are interested in that, I'm very interested in that. I study about that in my master's degree, and society and the way we use technology and society, etc. If you want tips about traveling, that's the place too. We have different tips and tops and pictures of the places, etc. Recommendations. I think that's a good section of the page. And also some nomad journalism that I do on the go, that has to do with local topics that I see in my travels. For example, the last one that I did, and the first one, by the way, was about the migration that was starting between Turkey and Greece. You can check it out there also in the page. So anyway, my friend, it has been a pleasure. Follow, like, share, and subscribe to all my content. It will really help me out. I want to grow up this. I want to basically do this for my life. I'm just done working for news media. I've been doing it for a long time, and I just want to start my own, and this is the way that I think is going to work. I hope it does. And as always, see you around.